Apparently, nobody from the civil society in Afghanistan to the lawmakers in Washington is convinced with President Joe Biden's plan of withdrawing entirely from Afghanistan by 11 September. Recently, a number of senators grilled Zalmay Khalilzad, Washington's special envoy to Afghanistan reconciliation, over possible repercussions, which they believe might reverse the progress made in the war-torn country.
Just days into President Biden's call of withdrawing completely from the war-torn country, prominent voices in the United States have started raising questions as to how feasible it will be to leave Afghanistan. Recently, lawmakers questioned President Joe Biden's envoy for Afghanistan on about how the administration plans to ensure women's rights if the hardline Islamist Taliban take control after US troops withdraw by September. A number of US Congress members have expressed skepticism about the plans to bring home the 2,500 remaining troops. They say they were worried the US departure would cede control to the Taliban, whose 1996-2001 rule severely curtailed activities for Afghan women.
What can you say publicly in terms of what the predictions are in terms of Taliban treatment of women should they take over the government? Again, personally, I'm concerned about public executions and other forms of brutality that will just be so incredibly offensive. And if that's the case, what do we do? Are we going to sit back and just watch that, wring our hands, and mourn the fact that we had made so much progress? And by the way, I think America and allies have to take pride in the progress that was made. I think that's probably our biggest concern here, is having all that progress be for naught.
Under the Taliban, women were barred from education or work, required to fully cover their bodies and faces, and could not leave home without a male relative. Moral offences were punished by flogging and stoning. When Biden made his announcement on April 14, he said the United States would continue providing assistance to Afghan security forces and to civilian programs, including those for women and girls. The September 11 deadline, which marks 20 years since the attacks on the United States that prompted Washington to go to war in Afghanistan, extended the U.S. presence there beyond a May 1 deadline negotiated under Trump.
We don't have a good history of taking care of those who sided with us in conflict and making sure that if they feel they cannot sustain themselves in their country or are unwilling to do so, that we take care of them. And that sends a global message. Don't fight with the Americans, because when they're finished, they leave you behind. That's not something we can tolerate.
Zalmay Khalilzad, Special Envoy for Afghanistan Reconciliation, while testifying before the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, said with conviction that the whole exercise will be conducted in such a manner that Afghan system doesn't collapse post-withdrawal.
I don't personally believe that there will be an imminent collapse. I know there are others who've had a different view. I believe the choice that the Afghans face is between a negotiated political settlement or a long war.
Experts fear that a complete withdrawal could lead to the country erupting in a full-scale civil war, providing Taliban an opportunity to return. They also say that Afghan security forces have not reached a level of war competence where they can fight and defeat the Taliban and Al-Qaeda on their own. Their limited capabilities have further been dampened by scant resources. Threats and attacks against civil society members and other champions of freedom of speech have already increased sharply in past few months, with fears of this freedom receiving the fiercest of blow if the hardliners make a comeback.